Robert Heffernan with Endotech, exclusively for the Pareto Network and Endotech subscribers. This is Blockchain Vitals. It's our weekly segment. Weekly, in that I'm going to talk about that weekly fractal and the monthly fractal on the Vitals section. Before we do that, though, we are going to do the rounds. Doing the rounds, little segment we do every day, where I get to talk about what's in the news, and I'm not so interested in news items because the price action, especially in Bitcoin Cash, is the news, the only news. And, you know, once again, some things that first of all, I need to say this. The reason why Bitcoin Cash rallied is, who cares, right? Who cares? It found momentum, it found volume, and it rallied. I'm not here to tell you the why exactly, although there's some theories floating around, obviously. We could talk about them. But unless you got involved when this thing first started to find momentum, now you're chasing it, which isn't a bad place. There'll be a pullback, right? But the momentum doesn't lie. And the ET bot, let's just talk about that, fully available and was on the job when this thing found momentum. Please open your trading account at Kraken and talk to the people at endotech.io, our support staff, and turn on the ET bot so when things find momentum, if you're sleeping or if you're on the golf course or wherever you might be, that ET bot is ready to trade for you, and make sure you're in the markets that find momentum. Anyway, back to the story here. That is the story. The story is, you know, quadruple the volume going through Bitcoin Cash, the normal volume, and there's a hard fork coming up November 15th. You know, the hard fork for me is there's two sides of this story, because it, like, you would think it would have the volume of everything, because you're creating twice the amount of coins out there, the hard fork Bitcoin Cash and the Bitcoin Cash that was before the fork. Everybody gets some of the new if you had some of the old, but in a evolving market, maybe that's not the case. I don't know. I don't know that. I do know that the Fed, you know, at consensus back in February, that the devaluation from hard forks is something that these markets will have to contend with. But at least on a lot of the ones, and especially Bitcoin Cash, it's all drawn out in you know, beforehand. So you know what's going to happen with the ecosystem, unlike fiat currencies worldwide, where they can just turn printing presses on, you know, in backdoor closed meetings and decide how much currency to print. Anyway, that is the only news item that I saw on why there's been such an increased demand and trading volume in Bitcoin Cash, is this hard fork coming up again on November 15th. But I'll return to my earlier statement on who cares what the reason is. Believe me, you know, there is too much information and news to go through it all. And if you just pay attention to the numbers, to the chicken scratches, as we call it, to the trading information, you are not going to get left behind. So Bitcoin Cash, the story, and we're going to talk about its further price action, what it looks like on the weekly, and also the monthly, because we started talking about that last Sunday as we rolled the month. And some important levels on that monthly to keep an eye on if this thing does continue to explode and turn somewhat parabolic. As things, you know, gain momentum and gain, what's the term I'm looking for? Volatility. You need to widen out your lens. You know, you need to look at longer term fractals to see where the potential is in any particular asset as you see explosive price action. So we will do that in the Vital section. In order to partake in that, you need to be an Endotech subscriber or a Pareto token holder. If you're watching on YouTube, that's where you need to be one of those two things so you can watch this content on the site at endotech.io. Last thing I want to talk about is don't forget that the app, the endotech.io app, available for your iPhone and your Android at the Google Play Store. Please download our app, now free, and you can let our signals quicken your pulse, actionable trading content at your fingertips 24/7, 365 days a year. All right, listen, we're going to get right into the vitals, and in order to do that, I got to say goodbye to the YouTube crowd. So goodbye, YouTube, and let's take the vitals.